In today's video, we're going to be repairing a door latch that's not working properly. For this repair, you're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, an offset screwdriver if available, a drill, and some pry bars if needed. Lastly, you may need some pliers just in case. On this particular door handle, something is broken internally, stopping it from being able to be pressed in, even if you slam the door or turn the door handle. Unfortunately, this was originally found when the door was shut, so it was actually stuck, not being able to be opened. Now this is where the pry bars come in handy. You can put the pry bar in between the door frame and the door and pry out a little bit, and then use your flathead screwdriver to manually push in the door latch like this. Sometimes it takes a little bit of effort, but eventually you should be able to get it pressed in. That way you can get the door open and disassemble everything. Now let's start the disassembly process. First, you're going to need to remove the top and the bottom screw on the inside of the door handle. Now I don't generally remove both of the screws all the way. I usually loosen them up about 3/4 of the way and let the door handles kind of hang off of the screws. And now you can use one hand to hold the door handles together and the other hand to remove both screws. That way the screws don't fall to the ground and neither of the door handles fall to the ground, and you can kind of remove everything all together. Now that the door handles are removed, it's time to remove the actual door latch. Just take your drill and remove these 2 Phillips head wood screws, and the door latch should come right out. To keep the door shut while you're gone getting replacement parts, you can just use the deadbolt and then get some tape and cover over the hole so you don't have a bunch of air escaping. The replacement parts are found in the door handle aisle. Just bring your old door latch with you, that way you can match it up to the same brand and style. That way you make sure you get the right one. Now that we're back at the house with our new pieces, I did just want to show you the old piece and kind of show you what's going on. So in that barrel part, something inside of it has broken loose, and you can kind of hear it shaking around inside. Because replacement parts are so cheap, I don't think there's any sense in trying to fix it. Just replace the worn out part. Now my hardware store did not have the correct color hardware that I was using. I have oil rubbed bronze. They only had brass available. The good news is that you can actually just swap out your old color piece onto the new barrel latch, and I'll show you how to do that here in just a second. Even if you don't need to color match and you have brass hardware like the replacement pieces, you want to also make sure you have the correct shape. As you can see on my old door, it has the rounded style. On the new door latch, it has square style, so I would have to replace it with the round anyway. And the new replacement parts come with that round piece, which is nice. So in order to get this plate off, you shove your flathead screwdriver in the slot as I'm showing here, twist it a little bit, and it pops the plate off of the back plate, and it falls off just like that. Go ahead and do the exact same thing on your old barrel plate. And I found it's easier to reuse the old back plate as well. Sometimes the new back plates don't fit the old style front plate, so I usually just end up reusing the old back plate. Now one thing to pay attention to is when you're taking the old back plate off, you do have to twist the barrel lock a little bit so this little metal piece fits through the slot. It's kind of hard to show here. Hopefully I showed a little bit better here. You can twist it and then it fits right through. Just reassemble it backwards. Put the old one back on. And then put your color matched front plate just like that. And sometimes with the force of your fingers, you can just kind of squeeze this thing together. I wasn't actually able to do it on this, so I did have to use one more tool, a pair of pliers. Just be real careful when you're squeezing everything together. This is cheap, thin pot metal, so you can kind of overstress things. Just squeeze a little bit, just enough to get that round piece to pop through the back plate, and you should be good to go. Now we are back at the door. It is time to reassemble everything. Go ahead and remove your tape, and then put your new barrel latch in the hole and attach it with the old wood screws. Usually when I'm tightening something like this, I like to start by hand tightening the screws. That way I can get even pressure with whatever tool I'm using, and it doesn't split the door, it doesn't bend the new latch. It just makes sure you have a good product in the end and everything is nice and evenly tight. And now it's time to install the door handles. We're going to start with the keyed side on the outside of the door, and then we're going to put the manual lock side on the inside of the door. And just like the latch, we're going to start with our screws and use our fingers and get everything hand tight before we use any tools. That way you can make sure everything is aligned properly and you don't cross thread your screws. It is super easy to cross thread this and think you're all good, grab a drill or grab a screwdriver and then screw up your threads, and you end up having to either buy new screws or have to buy a whole new door latch. Just take your time, make sure everything is nice and smooth, evenly tightened down, and you should be good to go. Now open and close your door a few times, make sure everything works great, and if you followed these directions, everything absolutely should. If you have any questions about the process, please let me know down in the comments and I'll do my best to answer. Please hit that subscribe button if you're interested in more home repair how-to videos like this, and please give this video a like if I was able to help you. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.